As soon as this remark came out, everyone sitting was taken aback. The Lady Wilson has always been arbitrary, so she has never appointed a director in the group. After all, the director has a lot of power, and it is almost the successor of the future group that is qualified to hold this position. The Lady Wilson is now using this position as a reward. She definitely hopes that there will be a brave competition for the reward. It can be seen that she is extremely eager for the M-Grand Group project. However, although the position of the director is good, it is not so easy to take. In the eyes of the Wilson family, if you want to reach a cooperation with M-Grand, you have to get a contract of 30 million? Don't be kidding. Even if Mrs. Wilson goes out in person, the executives of the M-Grand Group will not see her, let alone talk about cooperation. There was silence in the family meeting hall. Seeing this, the old Mrs. Wilson asked angrily, "You are descendants of the Wilson family, don't you want to share the worries for the Wilson family?" After that, the old Mrs. Wilson looked directly at Harold. "Harold, leave this to you." Harold laughed a few times and quickly said, "Grandma, even Gerald's house has been cleared by the M-Grand Group now. Our strength is worse than the Whites. How can we get the M-Grand Group contract?" Mrs. Wilson suddenly cursed, "Rubbish. Deny yourself if you haven't tried it. You are more rubbish than Charlie." In fact, Mrs. Wilson didn't know her heart, but she didn't want to be the helm of a second- and third-rate clan forever. She dreamed and longed for the Wilson family to rise to the next level. And this M-Grand Group project is the only opportunity. Therefore, no matter how difficult it is, she would not give up. She thought that Harold, as the eldest grandson, would be able to take over the task happily, but she did not expect that he would withdraw at this time. Harold was also very depressed. Who would take on such an impossible task? He was afraid that he will be kicked out before entering the gate of the M-Grand Group. At that time, not only did things fail, but they were also ridiculed and laughed at by others, so he decided not to agree in any way. After cursing Harold, the old Mrs. Wilson shouted and asked, "Where are the others? Don't you dare to take this task?" Charlie lightly touched Claire with his elbow at this time, and whispered, "Wife, you take this task." Claire hurriedly said, "It's crazy. It's impossible for the M-Grand Group to cooperate with a small company like the Wilson family." Charlie smiled slightly and said confidently, "Don't worry, you can definitely talk about this cooperation." Claire asked in surprise, "Really?" Charlie said confidently, "Of course. I don't think you have a problem at all. Seize this opportunity, and your future status in the Wilson family will hanging rocket." Claire didn't know why. At this moment, she believed Charlie's words in a bewildered manner. She stood up subconsciously and said to the old Mrs. Wilson, "Grandma, I'm willing to try." Claire's statement made the entire Wilson family stunned. Everyone felt that Claire must be crazy. Don't divide the time to show off. At this moment of being in the limelight, what can be the result besides death? The M-Grand Group is the largest company in Oris Hill. How can people look at the Wilson family? Whoever talks about it will never succeed. Harold couldn't help but sarcastically said, "Claire, do you think you can get the contract from the M-Grand Group?" Harold's own sister and Claire's cousin, Wendy, also sneered at this moment. "Sister Claire, what is your identity, and what is the identity of the M-Grand Group? You go to talk so rashly, don't shame our Wilson family." Someone agreed, "That is, if she is driven out by the M-Grand Group by then, our Wilson family will definitely become a laughingstock in Oris Hill." When Claire heard the sound, her cheeks were extremely red, feeling very embarrassed. Since marrying Charlie, her status in the family has plummeted, becoming less and less important, and almost squeezed out, and even her parents have been ridiculed. She felt that if she could talk about this project with the M-Grand Group, her position in the family would definitely be consolidated. The most important thing is that parents can also stand upright. But at this moment, being ridiculed by so many people, she couldn't help but retreat.